Huh? Huh? Huh?
Hey now, and welcome down to KC Toy Reviews. We are here today with the Shadow Void by Infamous Toys, 1/6 collectible, aka Proxima Midnight from Endgame. This one's a mixed bag of good and bad, but as always, let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so the question of the day for any 1/6 collector that has had any interest in this figure, or more specifically, any Endgame 1/6 collector, is this thing a piece of crap? The answer is yes. Unfortunately, it's a piece of crap. And let's get one thing out of the way. What you see is not what you get out of the box. It looked like a giraffe, as my friend put it. I couldn't believe how long the legs were on this. I saw several posts in the groups. I was prepared for it. There were leg extenders. I'll throw a couple pics up, of what I did and pulled the leg extenders out. I think it looks a lot more normal proportions, in my opinion, without the giraffe legs. However, if the giraffe legs appeal to you, you can keep it as is. It wasn't too hard, just a pair of pliers, yank those things off, and she looks a lot better in my opinion. But nonetheless, yes, it's a piece of crap. But this is all we got, unfortunately. Endgame is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. The fact that I am now slowly able to collect and build the Black Order, who knows if we'll ever be able to finish it. 2 more to come out, 1 more announced, 1 more not announced. But that would be amazing if we could actually have a Black Order. Endgame and the feeling that movie gave me, especially when the heroes returned, probably the best of all time. So to be able to collect these, I think that I am going to accept this as a piece of crap. But let's go ahead and dive right into why it's a piece of crap. I guess first things first, the suit it's like this weird rubberized printed material, and I have a I have another video / review up for the Space Wizard. And same thing, I remember when that came in, the way the suit was on it was very weird. It's like this rubber printed material. So it's this cheapy material. In fact, the only thing on here that feels of quote unquote value would be the shins, the knee pieces here, and the arm and shoulder piece, and the weapon as well. It's funny enough, actually, I was thinking as I was looking at this out of the box earlier, what's the best thing here? The weapon is probably one of the coolest things in the box. The weapon's actually pretty decently weathered, has some weight, it's printed well. The weapon's better than the figure, but the figure is all we have for now until somebody comes out with a better one. Swinging back into the good and the bad again, that's this weird printed material, and then there's these, I don't want to say horrible stitched lines here, but pretty hardcore stitched lines that you can see with the seams around there, and there's a few around the suit that you can kind of see for yourself. As I mentioned earlier, we do have this weapon here, and let me focus on the weapon a little bit more. And so from this angle, we can see the weapon is pretty decently weathered, has some good details to it. I mean, it's a freaking weapon. Nothing that I was really knocked out of the park about. And then I guess one thing to note, the shoulder pad and all the little pieces here do have some decent weathering on those as well. And then let's go ahead and swing right into the face sculpt. And there you have it, the face sculpt. I mean, it's not the worst of all time. I'll be honest, the whole figure itself kind of reminded me of just a Black Series Marvel on steroids. It was just an upgraded, larger Black Series figure, including the face sculpt. It was nothing special. You have the hair on the back. As I combed the hair, because it was like everywhere I got it out of the box, some pieces were already getting pulled out here. So overall, the quality is a mixed bag on this thing. And then one quick mention as well is the head sculpt. It has limited to almost zero motion. I couldn't even bring it. If you see it, I don't really want to make it fall on camera, but I'm sure it'll make people laugh. But if if I spring it, you can see it's just springing right back. I can go left and right with it a little bit here, but overall, the motion down and stuff, it almost had zero motion. And I would say one of the last things I wanted to know, I see a lot of people bitching and moaning about the accuracy of this thing. However, put the quality aside, as I Googled and looked through pictures just to kind of double check that, it seemed to be on par with what's not only in the movies, but what other toy companies are putting up. So as you can see, it's very, very similar to what other people are doing and what I'm seeing in pictures. So I'm not sure what people are talking about as far as accuracy, because I don't know, it seems pretty damn close to me. Put the quality aside, and as we're talking about accuracy, as it just stands there, it's really not that bad. It's not horrible. It's just a piece of crap when you feel it, and especially when you take it out of the box and you saw the giraffe legs. It kind of was like, whoa, what the hell were these guys thinking? Were they just rushing this out? Did they not even care about the quality? Did they not check the proportions next to the other guys? And while we're at it, let's just go ahead and throw the quote-unquote Space Wizard up next to it. So I don't know, the proportions of these guys in the movie or not. So personally, I'm going to not care too much as they sit on my shelf. I think they look pretty decent still. But again, side by side, after I've taken the legs and the giraffe legs, out of the equation, it does look ridiculously small next to the quote-unquote Space Wizard by Infamous. So if proportions and accuracy and stuff like that mean something to you, you're going to have to leave her in giraffe mode. Other than that, you can take her out of giraffe mode. She looks a little bit more appropriate as far as proportions, but you can see that now she looks a lot shorter than the Space Wizard. The question really is, does that bother you? It doesn't bother me, but I can, again, empathize and say, I can totally see how that can bother other people. And there we have it. The last thing I would note is it comes with a stand, kind of the same old Hot Toys quality stands where you really got to jam that crotch, Jesus Christ, I almost said crotch giver again, because I laughed and screwed up on another video and was trying not to say crotch giver. But yeah, when you put the crotch grabber in there, you kind of have to jam the ones in there, so it's not as good as perhaps the so-so quality stands and stuff. But nonetheless, it's cool that they came with a stand, so you do come with a stand. But what you see is what you get. The weapon in hand, and then just a couple, I think 2 other pairs of hands. That's it. All right, so let's go ahead and close this thing out with a review as always. Man, what came to mind, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily give it because it was very low. As always, this just got out of box. I'm doing this in front of everybody the first time. I haven't rehearsed any of this, so really, again, what comes to mind and what comes to gut as I look at this thing. I'm sorry, Infamous. This is a 5.3 out of 10. Never, ever in a million years should I spend this type of goddamn money and have to take pliers and edit or mod my figures as they come in. That's the first and foremost. I mean, we have several points knocked off right there. Giraffe mode was unacceptable as a figure to be on my shelf. We took her out of giraffe mode, but the fact that I even had to do that was just insane. Next up, rubberized suit, some bad stitching, printed rubberized suit, should I say. And really the only goods were the weapon and kind of the pauldron, what do you call them, knee pad, shin guards and stuff like that. Face sculpt wasn't even that good. Cool, they had some rooted hair in the back. You did good there. But for the price and what we can get with companies like So-So nowadays, absolutely unacceptable. 5.3 out of 10. Small slap to the face, Infamous, for making me buy this thing. I'll probably never be able to sell it unless I go to like $75. But 5.3 out of 10. KC Toys signing off. Proxima Midnight. Shadow Void. See you later. Huh?